Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cocokandy. I'm here to sweeten up your day the Cocokandy way. I am actually talking a bit on the volume because the baby is actually sleeping. So I kind of wanted to like give you guys my birth story, like let you guys know how it went. I feel like before I gave birth, everybody was like freaking out about it, like online. I've watched Kayla Nicole's video. You guys, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know who Kayla Nicole is, the comedic girl, and her video was crazy. Like, you know, she had her baby all natural and stuff, and she was just like screaming. And then I watched, who else did I watch that calmed me down so much? I watched Darcila Dorilas. Sorry girl if I'm saying your name wrong, but she's another YouTuber. I love her so much. I watch a lot of her videos. I decided to not vlog my birth because I just didn't think it was gonna work out, and I don't want to have that on the internet. I see like a lot of birth videos, but I never really actually sit down and watch them, you know what I mean? So basically I'm gonna tell you guys how my story went with the whole delivery thing right now, in this like a vlog style, because I just feel like it's easier to just take a camera out and vlog. So there was this night I was having some pains in my stomach, right guys? And I didn't know what type of pains they were. So I knew I was supposed to be having contractions before giving birth, and I know that half of your birth is supposed to be done at home. So whenever you're feeling contractions, you don't have to necessarily call your doctor straight away. I was told that I'm supposed to follow the 5-1-1 rule. Every 5 minutes, they should last a minute for a full hour. So you should have your contractions closed every 5 minutes. They last 1 minute for a whole hour. And at first when people told me like time your contractions, I was like, what does that mean? So this is what it means, guys. Like whenever you're feeling the pain, you feel the pain, then time goes on, and that time goes on is what you time, and you feel another one, and time goes on, there's another one. So I was feeling little pains, and I was like, yeah, these are probably contractions. And so I started timing them on the app Baby Center. I think if you have a baby, you should get that app, or if you're pregnant. And they were like 10 minutes apart, 11 minutes, 8 minutes. Why is she over there making up noise? She's so sweet. Aria. Aria. Okay, she be making so many noises in her sleep. She's so cute. So they were like 10 minutes, right? So I was like, okay, this is not, you know, consistent or whatever. So I just ignored it, and I just said, okay, when they get closer, I'll call the doctor or whatever. And I also had an appointment the following day. So I was like, you know what, when I go to my checkup appointment, I'll just, you know, ask them about this and whatever. So the following day, I installed my car seat because I'm like, yo, I need to get my car seat installed because what if I go into labor soon? So my friend came over to help me out. We went to the fire station to install it because my mother was just like, oh, you gotta go to a fire station, whatever. So at the fire station, they installed it, and then I told my friend like, yo, let's go get some snacks and stuff, like chips, like hospital snacks and whatever, fruits. And while I was in the supermarket, guys, I was literally feeling like pains, and I couldn't even push the trolley. My friend had to push the trolley. So she was pushing the trolley, and she was like, sis, we're about to leave soon, da da da. So I'm like, yeah, girl, because these pains feel like I need to go lie down. But they weren't like unbearable. When I thought about contractions, I was like, yo, these pains, it's not that crazy. But here's the thing, they grow each time. So I finally go home, and I think I sent an Uber for my friend to go home because I was not in the state to bring her home. So at this point, I had my car seat installed, my hospital bag in the trunk, and my snacks, right? Boom. So that following day, I went to the hospital. I had a doctor's appointment, right? And I went there with my boyfriend. So we went to the doctor's appointment, and I was like, you know, I have an appointment, but I need to see the doctor early because I feel like I'm having contractions. So then she was like, okay, well, let's put you inside. So they brought me inside and stuff, and You know, I was waiting for a bit, and I complained again, and they finally had me seeing the doctor, the OB. So then the OB was like, "Oh my goodness!" They hooked me up on this machine like my belly, and they were like, "Wow, you're really having contractions." Because they saw the lines go up and down, and they went regular, then they went up and down, then they went regular. They still weren't that close, and then they checked me to see if I had dilated, and they said I hadn't. So I said, "Okay, what should I do?" They were like, "Well, you know, just go home and see if the contractions grow." And I was like, "Does this mean the baby is coming?" They're like, "Oh, this doesn't mean the baby's coming. These contractions could even stop." So I'm just like, "What?" Because I wanted the baby to come. Like, at this point in my pregnancy, I was just over it. I was tired of being fat. I was tired of being moody and hungry. I just wanted to be done, right? So she sends me home, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So I go home now. Then my mother comes over in the afternoon. She brought me some food, you know. I love my belly, so she brought me some curry chicken and some fruits and other things. So I ate, and the curry just went through me. And you know, when it was time to go to bed, I was just like, "Okay, you know, I'm gonna get some rest." So it was like around 11:30 or so in the night. But these contractions was like getting rigorous. So I was like, "Okay, what is this pain? This is definitely contractions." Like, and this is like feeling like birth contractions at this point. It was like around 12. So I was like timing them, guys. They were still like weird in the increments. They were like 7 minutes. Then they were like 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 4 minutes. So as they started to get closer and closer, like 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna wait for the 511 rule. They're pretty like closer now." So I think we ended up leaving here at around the next half an hour or hour after that time I was feeling them, because I even called them, guys, because it started to get closer, like I said, and the hospital that I was supposed to give birth at was like, "Well, just wait it out, you know, wait it out. You know, it's not that close." And I was just dying. I was like, "I don't care what they're saying right now. I'd rather be in the hospital where they could take care of me than be in my house." That was my logic behind it. Like, and the hospital was like 30 minutes from where I lived. So, or like 20, what should I say, 20 minutes. So it was around 12 something, or like around 1. We jumped into the car. My stuff was packed already, so I was ready to go. But my boyfriend didn't bring anything with him. He didn't bring any like toothbrush or nothing, because he didn't think we were gonna stay. So we went, and he's like, "You know, we're not staying. I'm just gonna go." In my head, I'm just like, I'm glad I got all my stuff packed in a trunk. So we went there, and as we're driving there, guys, I'm telling you, like every few minutes or so, I'm like dying, like it's like this excruciating pain. Like, that's the pain of the contractions now, the one people are always talking about. I'm like, okay, now I understand what y'all talking about, because these pains is like crazy. Like, I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm just like, whew. And it's like I didn't even want the seatbelt to be on me at that point. Like, yeah, I had the seatbelt on to be safe, but I did not even want it to be on me, because I was just so uncomfortable, and I just did not know it was that painful, guys. And it's like, you feel it down here, like, you know. And what I got to understand is the contractions are a way of like pushing the baby downward. It's a part of labor. Like, I suggest anybody who's watching this video to be educated with labor, because it helps you. That's a part of labor that helps the baby come down. So I'm like, "Oh my god." I was like, "Try faster." I had attitude and everything, and then after a minute it stops, then it comes back. So like when it stops and like you take a break, it's like, thank you Jesus, but then you know it's gonna come back soon. So they were coming like pretty close together, and I'm like, yeah, this is the labor stuff they be talking about. So we get there now, and the contractions eased off, and this is the part where it eased a little bit. And there was this guy at the garage where we parked at the hospital saying, "Do you need a wheelchair?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I wasn't having contractions at that point, but they came again, so it's a good thing I got the wheelchair. And they pushed me upstairs, and I checked in. So they were like, "Okay, are you having contractions?" I'm like, "Yes." They're like, "Okay, we're gonna see if you're dilated and if we can keep you." So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Please, Jesus, let me be dilated so I could stay, because I don't got time to be going back home. Like, I just want to have this baby. So the doctor checks me and she's like, you're 4 centimeters dilated. And I'm just like, what? Are you serious? So I was so happy. And I was like, okay, so can you guys keep me then? And she's like, yes, for sure. So she kept me there. I'm like, yay. So I got admitted and my boyfriend was there. So he didn't have anything there for himself. Like, he didn't have any clothes, nothing at all. So after that, now I'm there in the room and the contractions are killing me. I then called the doctor back in the room, and she's like, well, do you want to do any, epidural? Like, what's your birth plan? So I told her my birth plan is to do it the natural way, but the epidural is still on the table. Like, I will consider taking it. So she's like, okay, no problem. So at this point, I can't really give you anything if you don't want the epidural. So I'm there, and I'm like, okay, I'll try. So I'm there, feeling pains again, like, I'm like, at this point, guys, I'm like having the worst pains ever. I cannot lay in the bed right. I want to get up. I can't even walk. So then she's like, so I call her back in the room. I'm like, these pains are killing me. The nurse comes in this time. She's like, well, we can't do anything for you because, you're not taking the epidural. And I didn't really like that nurse's energy with me being pregnant. Like, she wasn't being like empathetic towards me at all. So I was like, okay. So she was like, there's a medicine I can take through the IV, like a pain reliever or something, but it's gonna wear off. So I'm like, oh no, I won't do that. So then another nurse comes in a few hours later after us having all these excruciating pains, and she was black, this nurse, and she was very sweet towards me. And I was asking her, like, what do you think about the epidural? I would take it, but I don't want to have any spinal pains, and I don't want to be having pains in the future. I probably have like not the best back ever. So she was just like, girl, I was like, did you ever take the epidural? She was like, yes, that's okay. My kid is 10 and my back feels good. So I'm like, okay. And then I asked the doctor, did she take it? And the doctor's like, yeah, I took the epidural. So I'm like, okay. These women are making me feel more comfortable. So I said, listen, I'll take the epidural then. And then at this point, my boyfriend was relieved because he didn't know what to do to help me calm down. He didn't know how to breathe with me or anything. So they were like, well, if you're taking the epidural, you have to be calm and extremely still. So at this point, when I was taking the epidural, one of the nurses, the nice nurse that I was talking about, she comes before me, and then I grab onto her legs, and then they gave me the anesthesia through my back. And after that, guys, I felt so calm. I felt amazing. So I took a nap, and everybody was able to take a nap at that night, and they transferred me to like a different room, I think. And when I woke up in the morning, so I got the epidural around when I was 6 centimeters dilated, guys. Okay, I was almost at 10 to push, but I just could not handle the pain anymore. So around 4 o'clock, they gave me the anesthesia. They threw the epidural, and I felt great. But guys, I didn't really want to get the epidural because I was afraid that when it was time to push, I wouldn't feel the pushing urge. A lot of women, when I did my research, said they couldn't feel themselves pushing when they got the epidural because it's so painless. So when they transferred me over, I tried to wiggle my legs and I felt it. So I was like, okay, I could feel my legs a little bit. So this is not too, pain free. I wanted to feel myself pushing so I could have a good push when it's time to push. So I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling good, and I felt so good sleeping. The best sleep I've probably ever gotten in my life. And the doctor's there like around 7 a.m. or 7:30, and she's like, okay, let me check you. And I was like, still 6 centimeters dilated, maybe 6.5. So I was like, damn, I really want to start pushing because I don't want to stay in the same centimeter for a long time. Like, what if the baby can't move down anymore? Like, one of my friends, she did not get her baby moving along, so they had to cut her. So I'm like, oh my god, I hope we can get her moving along. So then the doctor proceeds to breaking my water, because my water didn't break. It wasn't like, oh, my water broke and I went into labor. Like, that didn't happen for me. So they broke the water to like speed up the to help the contractions grow, and they also gave me something through the IV called something with a P. I don't remember the name of it. I don't want to say the wrong name, but they gave me something in the IV to make the contractions also, you know, speed up the labor. And then, I don't know, for some reason, guys, I was getting the contractions, but I wasn't feeling it. I was just feeling this pressure in my buttocks, my booty area. And I'm like, I'm feeling pressure. I called one of the nurses, and then it was a different nurse at this time. And she was like, well, you can just increase your epidural. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared to increase the epidural because I do not want to not feel any pain at all. Like, I just want enough pain relief, but not everything gone, because I want to feel myself pushing. So this pain was in my butt and it was hurting so much, guys. I think they told me to turn to the side like this. So I turned to the side and the pain was still there. And I was like, no, I need to call the nurse. So I called the nurse again. Maybe these doctors probably were like tired of me, because I called the nurse and the doctor for everything. And she came in and she was like, okay, let me just check you. Let me check you. And then she checks me and see how much I'm dilated. And she's like, wow, you're 10 centimeters. It's time to go pushing. So at this point, guys, it's like 8 something. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, this is what they do in the movies. So my boyfriend was still sleeping. So they woke him up to help me push. And they showed me like this method of holding my legs backwards while placing the pressure down as I'm pushing. And I'm like, I hope I can do this. So the doctor said, okay, it's time to push. You're going to hold your feet back and just push down. So I was like, okay, is this how you do it? And I don't think I did it the right way. So they were correcting me. And at this point, guys, I was just focused more on knowing the technique of the pushing than pushing and wasting my push. So I was like, okay, Ash, if I can push and every time I push, the baby moves, my job is done. Because if every time she moves, then I'm good. So I kept, she said, when you feel the other contraction come down, push. So I pushed, wait for the other contraction, pushed, and the pushing was not the worst part. I don't know why I thought pushing was the worst part of labor. It's the contractions, because if you're on the pain epidural pain relief, you won't feel it that much. It's the contractions, guys. So maybe if you had a natural delivery, it hurts more, but yeah, the epidural, you don't feel it much. So after about a few pushes, they said they see her head. And then I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. So I'm like, is she moving? Is she moving? They're like, yeah. So they had me touch her head. And I was like, oh, it feels so gooey, like, you know, slippery. I felt her hair, like, downward. I touched inside. And then maybe about 3 more pushes. The baby was, like, right at the rim of the vagina. And that was the part where it hurt the most. I was just like, oh my God. If I could just push her back in, I would. But I was like, okay, it's go time. I just gotta push her out. At this point, I didn't even care if there was a tear or a rip. I just wanted her to get out because I just wanted it to be over with. So I pushed one really big push and they grabbed her head and like wriggled her out. And then they threw her around my chest. And it just happened so fast, guys. And I was just like looking at my chest like, whoa. You know, like, what the heck is going on? Like, this is real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm finally meeting the baby. Wow, this is crazy. And then, you know, we cut the umbilical cord and everything. And that was the story, guys. I mean, it was definitely a crazy experience. But I didn't get any tears. I didn't get anything like that. Any rips, any cuts. The recovery is like a different story, guys, but the labor for me, I thank God every day, because like childbirth is one of my biggest fears. I'm really afraid of childbirth because I had a very close family member to be passed away during childbirth. So I was like thankful that mine kind of went smoothly. So now thinking about the story, the night I was having those like contractions, that was labor I was going through and I didn't even know. And so I woke up the next day, went about my day, did activities, and that was all like pre-labor, you know, and I didn't even know. I was literally installing my car seat while I was in labor and I didn't even know. So I was just like thankful. Like, a lot of my labor was done at home, and when I went to the hospital around 1 o'clock, I went in at 1 and I was done giving birth at 8:57, which is not bad compared to a lot of people, and it was good. for me, my experience. So I just thank God for everything, guys. But I pray for everybody who's pregnant right now and who's about to go into labor soon. And if you're watching this video, I just hope that you guys have the courage to it. It's not gonna be someone else's story. I hope my story is a story that can help you guys not be so scared about it. Just have positive spirits and just make the decisions for yourself, and make sure you're in a hospital that you're very comfortable with, because the first hospital I was with before, I didn't like how they were treating me. Like, they were very quick with things. They didn't like take time to hear my concerns. So I definitely switched to a different hospital, and the staff was lovely, except for like maybe the one nurse that was kind of not empathetic towards me when I was in pain. But other than that, they treated me so good at that hospital. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time and found my labor and delivery story to be, you know, inspiring to you, and you can learn something from it. And if you guys want to hear my postpartum and everything that I've been going through and how the healing has been, because that's a whole different side of labor that we rarely talk about, let me know in the comments below. And I'm gonna go see what Aria is up to. You guys will meet Aria pretty soon, but that's gonna be for another vlog. So yes, guys, peace out. Be sure to ask me any questions you have below. I will definitely be responding to everything, and I want to encourage someone below who's kind of scared, or who knows someone who's scared. And I hope my best friend who's going through delivery soon, I hope that she has a safe delivery, and I hope that the baby is healthy. And as I'm making this video right now, she's probably headed to the hospital. So I know it's scary, because I was really scared about 3 months ago, but now I made it. So you guys can make it too. And I love you guys. Be sure to subscribe for more videos and like this one. Bye.